Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 488 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Just recorded live on Sunday, June 5th, 2022. We are almost halfway through the year, and I guess I'm sort of ready for that. I don't know. I'm Chris. Joining me, I have half the usual band of misfits. Mr. Anthony Bachman is out this week as he is doing training for his new gig, but I am joined by Mr. Willie D. Nelson.
Wouldn't you be included in that? So wouldn't be a third?
I was meaning the usual band of misfits that join me, but I guess if I was talking about the entire show, then we're down a third. I'm down half of my usual cohorts, though.
Jesus, why are we doing math?
Because it's simple math.
No, it's not. I'm not an engineers.
So it's just basic math between half and a third. Are you going to make it, Willie?
I'll go back to bed.
I mean, I've given serious thought to it myself. I'm sleepy. I need caffeine. I've only had 1 cup of coffee today. It's a problem. Hey, my straw matches my shirt almost. Go me. For those that are watching the video version as we stream this live on Sunday at geeks.live.
We're live?
We are live and in living color.
Man, I missed that show.
I mean, I guess I could find a black and white filter if you want. We could just go like old school.
No, I just like that show. You know, the Fly Girls.
I remember it.
You remember what Jim Carrey's name was on there?
Not off the top of my head, no.
James Carrey.
Oh, well, yeah. That makes sense, I guess.
Does it?
Sure, why not? Speaking of Jim Carrey, I saw on Twitter today that the Truman Show came out on this day 24 years ago. So assuming what I saw on Twitter was right, it's an awesome movie. Folks should go watch it.
It's all right.
No, it's awesome. And now I feel
It's too
old
heavy.
because I remember going to go see it in theaters, so I feel old.
Let's not forget it also started a whole what's the term when people the Truman Show effect or something, when people think they're in a show. It started a whole thing where people started thinking that.
Oh, I'm unfamiliar with that.
Yeah, it's like just like Truman Show, like people just think they are like
the term that is. I understand
gotcha.
the effect you're talking about. I'm unfamiliar with what the term is. I guess I could Google it.
Syndrome? Yeah, that sounds right.
Truman Show effect. Let's see.
Okay.
The Truman Show delusion, also known as Truman Syndrome, is a type of delusion in which the person believes their lives are staged reality shows or they are being watched on cameras. The Truman delusion. Truman Show delusion.
I'm never being shown on camera, so it doesn't matter.
Willie, you're being shown on camera, right? Meow.
I thought I put the tape over it.
No, see? Here you are. Full screen Willie.
Oh, my screen's busted. I can't see anything.
That's probably safer that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do the whole show just with full screen Willie. I'll gladly stay off screen, or we can just put like a little tiny version of my camera on screen. How's that sound?
What?
Here, we'll go full screen Willie.
You see the pain in my face.
Well, I don't look at your face when it's on screen. That's for my own protection.
Or what's the other option?
To minimize the window?
No, never mind. This is fine. This is fine. This is A-okay. This is fine. So, since Bachman's not here, we need to have a serious heart-to-heart here.
A serious heart-to-heart, you and me.
Serious heart-to-heart.
All right, let's do this thing then.
When are you going to get serious? It's been years. You need to get serious about this, Chris. I've held up my end of the bargain. Now you need to hold up your end of the bargain. When are you going to watch The Fifth Element?
On that note, it's time to roll into the new... No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I just need to get around to it. I think I remember where the disc is. I've got to find where I put the disc because I didn't see it on my DVD shelf. Yeah, I've got it somewhere. SP bought it for me for Christmas to try and make me watch it. Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh my God. SP, yell at this man. For God's sake, he deserves it.
I mean, I don't dispute that.
for this in particular.
There's plenty of other things that people should yell at me about, though, too.
I'm specifying this right here. Anything else I don't really care about.
That's fair.
Just watch The Fifth Element.
It's on my list, Willie. There's so much content out there to watch now. That's the problem, that I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, that content can wait an hour and a half.
I mean, it can, but I can't watch all the stuff I want to watch already.
Yes, you can.
Can I?
What else is out there?
You're familiar with my schedule?
What else is out there that you need to watch?
Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
You don't need to
Obi-Wan
see that
Kenobi,
shit. That's all right.
The Orville New Horizons.
You don't need to see that shit.
Oh, Willie. WillieNelson.com live cam. I mean, what?
You need to stop watching the wrong space shit. You need to start watching the right space shit, which is The Fifth Element.
No, I've watched plenty of right space shit. That doesn't necessarily make The Fifth Element wrong space stuff, but to imply that some of the other things I watch are wrong, but The Fifth Element is right by itself would be inaccurate.
It's just as if you were just watching 2 episodes of Orville. I'm assuming it's an hour long. It could be 30 minutes. I could be wrong. So it could be like watching 4 episodes. So it's like watching 2 episodes. Just do that.
That's fair.
Take a week off of Orville, whatever it is.
It just started up. Why am I going to take a week off?
Whatever the new Star Trek's called.
That just started 5 weeks ago. Strange New Worlds is delightful.
It's on Paramount Plus. Who cares?
I mean, there's a point to be made there. But Star Trek Strange New Worlds is the best Trek they've made in years. I really love it. And if you want to talk about it, we've been talking about it a lot.
What other Trek have they made in years?
Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery.
Wait, was Picard not good? I thought people liked that.
It was okay. Season 2 I thought went off the rails. I got to finish it.
There's season 2 already? I thought it was just started.
Season 2's already over. Hence why Strange New Worlds is on. Season 2's been over for like a month and a half.
It's been off for a month and a half, so they already need a new... God damn it.
Well, they did the whole Disney Plus model. As soon as Star Trek Picard was done, they started Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's the same thing Disney Plus does. Although...
With what?
With their content in general, which is when one big show stops, another one starts. Although the weird thing is Ms. Marvel starts this next week, releasing the same day as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm very confused why they're releasing those shows on the same day.
Well, you can take a break from both those, not watch any of those this week, and just watch The Fifth Element.
But I want to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But you also want to watch The Fifth Element.
I mean, I sort of do, but not as much as I want to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. Willie, is Ewan McGregor in The Fifth Element?
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Watch it and you prove me wrong.
I don't need to watch it to prove you wrong. I just need to go to a little website called imdb.com.
Oh, you see, he's even uncredited under IMDb.
Oh, yeah, because that really happens.
This is before Ewan McGregor was a thing.
Well, I mean, Star Trek Episode 1 came out in 1999, so he was probably produced... Yeah, it probably was.
When do you think Fifth Element came out?
97.
So you already knew it did.
Yeah, I pulled up the IMDb for it.
Well, I already knew it was 1997 without looking up an IMDb.
I would have said late 90s, and I probably would have guessed 98 if I hadn't looked at it.
And it looks great.
Yeah, it looks fine.
But you know who you do get in it? A little cameo from Luke Perry. I think that's right.
You mean Jungle Boy's father?
Who?
Jungle Boy.
Is this another AEW thing?
It's Jack Perry, a.k.a. Jungle Boy.
The answer to my question,
yes,
this is an AEW thing.
His father's
Jesus
Luke Perry.
Christ. Like, for real Luke Perry? The Luke Perry?
Yeah, he's Luke
All
Perry's
right, just
kid.
making sure that we're talking about the same Luke Perry, not just a Luke Perry, because I'm a Willie Nelson. I'm not the Willie
You're
Nelson.
Willied Nelson. I thought we've had this conversation.
You know the point I was trying to make.
I'm being obtuse on purpose, but yes, I get the point you're trying to make.
An obtuse obstacle, I'd say. An overtly obtuse obstacle.
What?
I worked hard on that alliteration.
Made my brain hurt.
So did the math in the beginning, yet we still rolled on with that.
Math is easy. Math.
Chris, I want to slap the fuck out of you. I don't even know what that means. It means something. You deserve it. Not watching The Fifth Element. For not continuing to watch Letterkenny.
Yeah, I do need to get caught up on that. I'm up to season 3 now on that.
Oh, so you did watch the best episode ever.
Yeah, I'm up to season 3,
Buttholes
episode 1 or 2. I can't remember.
And there's also another show you could watch. It's a spinoff of Letterkenny. Yeah, it's actually good.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
Different taste.
Letterkenny, I've determined, is a really good show for me to have on while I cook dinner in the evenings. Because I don't have to watch it. I can just hear it, and it generally is good enough. Because they don't rely on a lot of camera gags and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it are like static shots from far away. Yeah, so it's all right.
So I'll probably just rotate that back into my dinner cooking rotation.
It's all about the wordplay.
The wordplay.
Exactly. Although I think they do get a little weaker when they go to the fight scenes, because it's like, man, these fight scenes just don't look good.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. You got the Buttholes episodes. So that's all.
I did indeed. I'm surprised that you enjoy that so much.
Squirrely Dan getting a finger up the Buttholes.
All right. On that note, guys, we do have some news to talk about this week, and we'll get into a few other things. We are not playing Get Good Kid again this week because there's only one of us, so it really wouldn't be fair.
I mean, I kind of figured that. That's why I didn't actually have anything ready.
I was letting the viewers and the listeners know that was the case for this week. We'll do another installment at some point. I think we'd already talked about it when Bachman was out that we wouldn't do it, so it was a fair assumption to make, but I had to let everyone know what was going on because, hey, that's how we roll.
Apparently with math.
We also roll with doing the news of the week.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Welcome to the news of the week part of the show. This is where we run down what is in our minds. It's the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up in the past week and share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date. Or in the case of one of my news stories, dunk on a movie that is terrible. Yeah, that's
it better not be fucking Fifth Element. I swear to God.
Well, it wasn't going to be until you said that, but now I'm going to dunk on it. No.
How far away is your place from me, I wonder?
I don't know.
How quickly can I be up there to slap the shit out of you?
Well, I'm not going to be home for much the day after the show, so you got time.
I got patience.
It's true. Well, sort of.
What?
You get patience sometimes. I imagine when it comes to a new game coming out that you're excited about, you don't have much patience.
It sounds like that's a foreshadowing thing.
I have no idea, to be honest. I guess it could work as foreshadowing, but we're not doing that story yet.
It will be foreshadowing for what I'm into. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So let's start with a movie that I'm going to dunk on. And I didn't even realize much was going on with this because I haven't been paying attention to Reddit as much lately. But Willie, have you heard of the meme that has been circling the internet called "It's Morbin Time"?
I've seen it, never knew what the fuck it was about.
Right. So I had seen it in passing, and I was like, what the hell is this about? And I guess there are a lot of fans that have been making fun of Morbius and its lackluster box office performance, and the fact that once it came out digitally, there was a bunch of people that were streaming it live on Twitch somehow and not getting taken down doing like group watches of it. And it turned into this meme of, we need another Morbius movie. We need Morbius 2. It's Morbin time and things like that. So it became this whole meme. And you know, a lot of things, when a movie becomes a meme or something related to a movie becomes a meme, it gets a lot of coverage in internet circles, meaning that there's a lot of internet buzz, but that doesn't necessarily always translate over to your conventional movie viewer. Would you say that's fair?
That's 100% fair.
Yeah. So, did you realize that this weekend they re-released Morbius in North America?
It was already out of movies? I don't even know when it got released,
It was already out of theaters. They put it back in theaters this weekend to put it against Top Gun in week 2, which is, by all accounts, crushing the box office.
Great. 2 movies I don't give a shit about.
Right. So, for those that aren't aware, let me see if I can find the exact details. I'm bouncing back and forth from an article on flickeringmyth.com and theverge.com. You can find them in our show notes. But they say on The Verge, Morbius is back in theaters despite no one even asking for it, and its unpopularity is only making itself more obvious. It was put back into 1,000 theaters this weekend. It made $85,000 on Friday.
Wait. So the memes were not asking for it?
No, they were
memes
not.
Were just
but
memeing.
They were memeing, but I believe Sony
Oh
Pictures
my God.
saw that as an interest in Morbius. And in fact, they even had Jared Leto record a video and post it on his Twitter talking about Morbius 2, it's Morbin time, and things like this to try and cash in on that fact. Morbius was originally released on April 1st. It's been out of theaters for a while. And yeah, it brought in $85,000 in 1,000 theaters on Friday.
So they thought a joke would have made them money.
That is correct. Who would have thought that a meme's popularity doesn't directly correlate to genuine interest in a movie?
Turns out the real joke was those executives.
I mean, this is just another case of people that don't understand meme culture, I don't think. And granted, I wasn't in on this meme. I wasn't paying a ton of attention to it. But for the most part, when a meme comes up about a television show or a movie or something that's going on, that's generally because people like making the meme, not necessarily because they have a great interest in what the meme comes from.
Not all the time.
Not all the time, but for the most part nowadays, because everything's devolving into memes, I think that's a fair statement, is that the vast majority of memes aren't necessarily because of an interest in that subject, but more because they say, ooh, that material would work well for a meme.
I mean, hey, Disney, you keep seeing all those memes of Thanos did nothing wrong. Where's our Thanos coming back?
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
Because, I mean, but to be honest, Thanos did nothing wrong.
They were saying it ran in 1,000 theaters this weekend over Memorial Day weekend. It was not fully out of theaters. It was in 83 theaters Memorial Day weekend.
That's it.
83. And then it was up to 1,000 for this weekend because they thought the memes were genuine.
Thinking nationwide, that doesn't seem like a lot of theaters.
I mean,
Does it?
1,000 nationwide? I mean, that's not terrible.
There's got to be at least 5 in New York City that it went to, right? So that's,
I would assume.
I would say at least 7 in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah. I mean, but again, this is another indicator of what was one of the very first movie memes that kind of took a life of its own, that actually got the movie released, actually had the movie title created, and got Samuel L. Jackson to utter a specific line. Snakes on a Plane back in, 2006, 2007, became like this huge meme when a trailer first came out of it, because the title was simplistic. Everyone was laughing about it. We got, by internet presence, Samuel L. Jackson say that line of "get these mother effing snakes off this mother effing plane," because everyone laughed about it. But
You're
that
cute when you censor yourself.
Yeah, well, sorry. That internet buzz didn't really announce to that movie, or didn't really amount, rather, to that movie taking a crap load of bank, from what I recall. It was a meme and everyone had fun with it, and that was about it. And I think we've got the same thing going on here with Morbius.
A little bit different. That meme was not a meme the studio was pushing out. That's just what people picked up on and they ran with it.
Okay, that's true. They didn't go for the meme, and that you could say the same is the case here with Sony, is that people picked up a meme from their product, and then, much like the Snakes on a Plane folks, they embraced it to try and better their product when it was out, or in the case of Morbius, re-release their product and have it kind of flop.
I mean, and also, it's not even that good of a meme. It's Morbin time.
Yeah, and
it's all right, but it's...
It earned $163.4 million worldwide, has a budget of $75 million. Now,
during the opening, or during the extra opening weekend?
That includes this extra opening weekend where they made $85,000.
Oh.
$85,000 for this weekend so far.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch this movie at all, and that did not make me want to see it anymore.
Now, they make an argument over at flickeringmyth.com that this may not actually be the death knell for the franchise, not necessarily because of the success of the movie itself, but more because this is all Sony's grand plan to establish their own Spider-Man movie universe, because they've already announced a Madam Web movie, an El Muerto movie. There's been talk of trying to put the Sinister Six together, and not deal with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We're not sure which Spider-Man they'd interact with.
What was the second one you said?
El Muerto. This is
I-
the one where Bad Bunny is going to be starring as a character that we talked about a while back.
Bad Bunny?
Yeah. During the 2022 CinemaCon event, it was announced that Sony Pictures has Puerto Rican rapper Bad Bunny signed on to play El Muerto in the Spider-Man universe alongside Kraven the Hunter, Morbius, Venom, and Madam Web. In the comics, the character of El Muerto was a super-powered wrestler who initially fought Spider-Man in a charity wrestling match. The web-slinger would later save El Muerto's life from his arch-rival El Dorado. I don't know much about El Muerto. That's why I had to pull up the article to find out more.
Let's get some simple Spanish words in there, put L in front of it, and boom, bang, bam. We got it. We got a whole script, baby.
I don't know. I think this is kind of funny in regards to Morbius and continues to show the fact that they made a movie that nobody was asking for and kind of banked on the fact like, oh, Jared Leto is popular. If we put Jared Leto in this, maybe people will go watch it. And most people went, the fuck is this? Why do I care? And they didn't. And even like revealing the fact that Michael Keaton's Vulture shows up and stuff like that in trailers that basically gives away post-credit scenes, people didn't care about.
And it also doesn't make sense that he's in there either.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that somehow... So, have you read anything about what happens in this movie and how it ties into Spider-Man No Way Home?
No!
So, I read a little bit after it came out because like, I'm not going to go see this, but I'm curious how they're bringing Keaton in. And I guess what happened here is when the spell is cast at the end of Far From Home, in which Spider-Man is forgotten, somehow that takes Michael Keaton's character from the MCU and throws him in the Sony universe. So he just appears in a jail cell in the Sony universe and no one knows who he is. And like, well, we don't know who you are. You're probably not supposed to be in jail. And they let him go. And then somehow he shows up at the end of the movie in full Vulture regalia, which you know was built off of Stark tech and Chitauri tech. So I'm not sure how he rebuilt his Vulture suit in the Morbius universe.
And more importantly, they didn't deport him either because they can't find records of him to say, well, you're not really a citizen here because you don't exist. How about this? You just get out of our jail and just be gone somewhere. Or for the fact he also had a wife and daughter.
Right.
What about them?
And he did everything for his wife and daughter before. And I guess it ends with him in a post-credit scene in the Vulture suit trying to say something to the effect of wanting to get a team together to take out Spider-Man, who doesn't exist in this universe as far as we know.
For what reason? Did he forget about Spider-Man 2?
He forgot Spider-Man's identity, I would assume, by result of the spell. But not the fact that Spider-Man put him in jail.
Or Spider-Man saved his life.
Yeah, but villains always tend to forget that part where Spider-Man saves their life when the grand plan
Oh,
falls
no,
apart.
I'm sorry. Poorly written villains think that. Sorry.
Fair.
I'm sorry. I had to fix that.
So, I mean, the film was a mess to begin with, and then they lean hard into, we're going to try and tie this into Far From Home, but with no way that really makes sense. So, technically, if you're not paying attention, the Vulture doesn't live in the MCU universe anymore. Michael Keaton's character is no longer in whatever the actual universe number is for the MCU. He's in whatever the Venomverse is with Sony now. He crossed over.
So are people just wondering where Vulture went in the MCU? Like,
I
hey,
would
we had this
assume.
guy in prison. He's not here anymore, so I guess he's an escapee, right?
I mean, but stranger things have happened, I'm sure. I mean, at one point
Yeah,
in time,
no, Stranger
everyone
Things
gets
came out
snapped.
last week.
Yeah, fair point. But more what I was getting to is it's not unheard of because people got snapped before and just vanished. So people vanishing isn't really unheard of in the MCU. But yeah, I just don't get it. The whole Morbius thing. It just
Wait, hold on a second.
Okay.
That'd be great when the whole snap happened if you're in the middle of escaping and just, no, I'm not him. He got snapped. I'm the other guy that's supposed to be free and on the outside. Yeah, that work so perfectly, wouldn't it?
That would be funny. I agree. Stepping back
Yeah.
a sec, though, to Morbius. This just kind of makes me laugh because I don't think that the folks at Sony Pictures realized they were being dunked on with these memes. It wasn't people having genuine interest in Morbius and the character. It was more people having genuine interest in ripping on the movie and making fun of the movie by creating memes.
You know what we should do as fans? We should send Sony executives like the same things that he sent people as Joker, right?
Oh, no. Nobody should be sending condoms full of bodily fluids in the mail to people.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did he send that to?
To all of his cast members on Suicide Squad.
Well, I remember like a dead animal or something.
He did
That's
dead
what I
animals
remember.
also, and then he was also sending condoms full of...
To everybody?
At least a couple of people talked about it in the press junket.
Whose?
I would
Not that I want to know, but I have to ask.
I would assume his own, but I don't know. Remember, the dude's super method, so he probably spun it some way in his head. Oh, this is something the Joker would do.
Jerk off in a condom and give it to people?
No one said it was jerking off how it was filled.
You know what I meant.
I know, but what I'm saying is there could be a whole other level of grossness associated with it, which is he was using it with significant others and then decide, oh, the Joker's going to mail this to you now. Ha ha ha.
Wait, you think Jared Leto uses condoms with other people? That's bullshit and you know it.
I think he might have done it for this purpose, to be able to send things in the mail or send things to his co-stars like that. The whole super method thing, acting like a jerk, is well documented. We even talked about it in regards to Morbius at one point in time, that I guess the movie starts with Morbius on crutches and disabled and stuff like that.
Wait. Hold on a second. Are you trying to tell me it's super method? You think Joker uses condoms?
I don't think Joker does, but I think for the purposes of sending that gag gift or whatnot.
I just want to make the Joker. Do you think Joker?
That's fair. I mean, but the thing is, like, he even stayed super method on Morbius, and there was an article I think we talked about on the show where they talked about people got really annoyed on set because in the beginning of the film, Morbius is on crutches, can barely move, and like in between takes, Leto refused to get off the crutches. You know, if he had to pee, go walk to the bathroom on his own. He would shuffle over there on his crutches. So a bathroom break that would normally take like 15 minutes for the entire cast and crew was taking like an hour and a half, because he would refuse to get out of character to go take a leak. So at one point in time, I think they talked about they had a cart that they would put him on to take him directly to the bathroom because he refused to get out of character. Simple stuff like that.
You know what this reminds me of, don't you?
Not off the top of my head.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
You never go.
Yeah. So,
which is it's a little bit distasteful right now.
Yeah.
But the feeling is still there. The meaning is still there.
Let's put it this way: Tropic Thunder is not a movie you could make in 2022. Let's just
which is weird because it was only made in 2008.
Right. Well, the climate for things has changed. It's been 14 years.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it's that far off. Like the what am I thinking of? The social aspect? No, the how society perceives it. It doesn't seem like it's that far off. People had already stopped saying some things that they should have already stopped saying. I mean, still, some people still say some things they shouldn't say.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I think people have, I don't know, it's a comedy, and I think that a lot of people realize the fact it's a comedy, and those that get upset by it, you hear about it on a basis every couple years or so. It comes up again, and someone's like, I can't believe Robert Downey Jr. did this, blah, 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 blah. You're like, it's a movie. Don't you get the fact that they're making fun of the fact that it's a white dude playing a black dude who wants to play a white dude? And, yeah.
Well, the joke is he's super method. That's the joke.
I'm just a dude playing a dude playing another dude.
Of his own ignorance.
Yeah.
That's the joke,
yes.
Not the ignorance itself.
Yes. Regardless, I enjoy Tropic Thunder. I think it's a fun movie. I haven't rewatched it in ages, but I still enjoyed it last time I watched it.
And Jared Leto, stop being a shithead.
Also that too.
Just go take your piss and get the fuck back.
You're not wrong.
And guess what? It's never going to be Morbin time.
Never Morbin time. So, did you want me to take my second story first, or did you want to do your news story and then we'll wrap up with my second story?
Oh, we weren't going to mention the hand vaginas?
What?
Didn't he in the cartoon have hand vaginas?
Oh, yes, in the cartoon because he wasn't.
Was it in the movie? I don't know.
No, it wasn't in the movie, but it was in the cartoon that he had like suckers across his hand, like 3
Oh,
here
yeah, that's
and 2
because
here,
they didn't
like
want a vampire. That's why.
Yeah.
So he had to do that. What happened when Blade? Oh, Blade wasn't following other vampires. He was just following Morbius.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's been a long time,
Remember,
man.
the Spider-Man TV show from the 90s, while it's really enjoyable, it also had the problem of Spider-Man wasn't actually allowed to punch people for a long time.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
How do you win any fight then?
He just webbed everything. I mean, and at the same time, also on Fox Kids, we had Batman the Animated Series, where Batman would beat the shit out of people in a cartoon format.
And they rightly deserved it, just like Spider-Man's
I mean, I
villains.
don't disagree. Batman the Animated Series still holds up, by the way. It's still great.
I'm never going to watch it again.
That's fair. Willie, did you want to do your news story then, and we'll wrap up?
No,
with
go ahead. You're on a roll, my friend.
All right.
Keep that roll rolling.
So we're going to go and talk in the world of video games right now. And
Ooh.
I think we had talked about on this show 2 or 3 years ago when it was first announced, Diablo Immortal, which was the mobile free-to-play game that Blizzard was going to be making. It's going to be coming to PC in some way, shape, or form in addition to mobile devices. Well, guys, Diablo Immortal came out this week.
Can I do the line?
You can go ahead and do the line.
You have a phone, don't you?
There you go.
Fucking idiots.
So Diablo Immortal came out this week. They actually dropped it a couple days early, and it's been making a lot of headlines. People have enjoyed playing the game, things like that, but there were concerns about the loot box aspect of things. In fact, there are certain countries in the EU where Blizzard has not released this game because of the local rules in certain countries there regarding loot boxes and things like that. So I think it's Belgium and the Netherlands. I will have to double check on that, but I believe that's 2 countries in which Diablo Immortal has not been released. And like we mentioned, it's
EA needs to take a page from their book and just say, we're staying out since we can't do this shit, instead of just doing illegal shit and taking the fines.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're probably not wrong, but EA is also trying to sell themselves right now, which we didn't talk about because we were off last week. It hasn't found a buyer yet. Supposedly Apple was interested in buying EA though, which is interesting. I'll see if I...
That's like Satan buying Lucifer.
Right.
What the fuck?
While you're doing your news story, I'll see if I can find the background on it because I
never
remember
heard of that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I can't remember a ton about it, but let's step back to Diablo Immortal for a second. One of the concerns that we all had, and I think we talked about it on this show, is when they said, oh, it's going to be free to play, but we're going to have loot boxes and gems and stuff like that you can pay, is that we went, oh, this is going to turn into a pay-to-win game, and they're probably going to be pretty greedy, we expected. Because remember, we saw the real-world auction house in Diablo 3 before they patched it out at one point in time, and that was not great, let's put it that way. Now, granted, we've said on this show before, we're not necessarily opposed to microtransactions because it's a way you can continue doing a game, but we're opposed to greedy microtransactions in which there's really no way to play the game unless you buy into things. And it seems like Diablo Immortal might be leaning more towards that. It's near impossible to beat it without paying things.
It is a free-to-play, right?
It is a free-to-play.
Okay, that's at least something.
So, freemium model. Now, I have an article on GameRant.com that was shared on the Xbox Series X subreddit either yesterday or this morning as we record this. I can't remember the full approach, but I'm going to just read part of the article here. And they say, Diablo Immortal may have taken things a step further than players have expected. According to YouTube channel Bellular News' calculations, the game's unique monetization system is set up in a way that makes character min-maxing an exceedingly expensive endeavor. Which we expected, but the number when we get to it is going to be impressive.
Jesus.
Yeah, so continuing this article over on GameRant.com, they say the crux of this issue, as per Bellular News' recent video, is that Diablo Immortal allows players to buy so-called legendary gems. These are one of the character's 3 progression pillars alongside regular gear and XP level, and they dictate one in-game's tier progression beyond what is possible simply by reaching Diablo Immortal's level cap. As of right now, free-to-play players cannot earn top-rated legendary games, which are only available via some of the game's monetization options. And according to their math, fully maxing out a character effectively costs $110,000 in the game's current economy.
Okay. So, never play that game. Gotcha.
You're right. They continue. Matt and Michael of Bellular News also make an argument that Diablo Immortal's legendary gems are a deliberately convoluted system, which we've seen before in other games, that's my aside, explaining that it would take roughly 10 years of playtime for a free-to-play player to fully kit out a character in the game's current iteration. Specifically, legendary gems aren't even a guaranteed drop for paying players, as they are only randomly awarded upon purchasing legendary crests, i.e. loot boxes, which may be the reason why Diablo Immortal did not launch worldwide.
Oof.
So the grind is on. The real question that could be very interesting to me right now is when the Activision Blizzard acquisition goes through, different management in the house. What does Microsoft do with this? Do they look at this and be like, the fuck did you guys do? And strip it down some? Or do they just let it keep going? Because I'm sure if you work at Activision Blizzard right now, it's, hey, this was the plan. We're not rocking the boat because we're in the middle of being sold. So we're not going to see any change to Diablo Immortal's game balance, I don't think. Unless there's an insane fan revolt until that Microsoft acquisition either falls through or completes.
You mean the revolt that was at when they announced it? And the crowd was like, what? You got a phone, don't you? That's not helpful. It's not. No one wants this. You just want Diablo 4. That's all people want. What are you doing? Do people want another Half-Life Half-Life 2 episode? No, they want Half-Life 3. Right. They'll settle for Half-Life 2 episodes.
Now, according to reviews of Diablo Immortal, the game does seem to be, quote, a true Diablo-like experience in more ways than not. The community's been praising the core gameplay loop, and almost immediately upon release, there was a healthy dose of skepticism surrounding the monetization system, and that could be warranted assuming the findings from Bellular News are correct. I imagine other people are going to be jumping on and trying to break down what the costs would be. This is just one source that's saying this is what it looks like it would cost to max out everything. Other folks are probably going to do their own research. But even if we say it's a couple $1,000s, that's still a lot of money, let alone, what'd they say, $110,000 in the game's current economy? That's just absolute batshit insanity.
The only thing I've seen of this game was one image on Reddit where someone was complaining about it. They said, what do you get when you beat a boss in Diablo Immortals? You get the right to buy a microtransaction.
Yeah.
It had a dead boss and it had a window saying, one-time purchase of $4.99 for this. It's on sale for cheaper for you since you beat this boss. That's what all he got. I'm assuming that's what he was saying with that. And who would want to do that?
I love Diablo games. They're really fun. And when I saw Diablo Immortal was out on cell phones or on mobile devices and even on PC, I was like, hey, I might go check this out. And evidently it has full Bluetooth controller support if you're playing on your phone or your iPad or things like that too. So you could very easily just prop up your phone, hook in a Bluetooth controller, say a DualShock or an Xbox controller, and go to town playing it. But I'm kind of looking at this going, okay, I could have some fun with free to play, but it's obvious you're going to hit a point where you can't stick with free to play because all of these games are designed to do that, to entice you into wanting to pay because you get stuck progressing so slowly. And yeah, I don't want to get anywhere near that cost.
I just had a thought.
What's your thought, sir?
I could let's start a whole new thing, a whole new genre of speed runs. The trust fund speed run. Because that's what you're gonna need to speed run this game.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think that's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that are citing the Bellular News article. I haven't seen any news outside of that in regards to it. So I don't know. I can't 100% say that this is what will end up being the case when everyone does their analysis, but it's enough right now that it don't look good, and really we shouldn't be shocked. And I can confirm, though, that Netherlands and Belgium do not have the game due to their strict loot box laws in the region. So if you
Good for them.
Yeah. I guess it's only on open beta on PC right now.
As much as I don't like the company for other reasons, I will say, like I've always said, Overwatch's microtransactions were all right because those were only visual, cosmetics.
Right.
That's all they ever were. So I will never say anything bad about the microtransactions for Overwatch because you don't need them and you earn them pretty easily anyway. But if you want something specific, you just play it's easily earnable.
Yes, and real quick, you had mentioned you hadn't heard about the EA news. I found it real quick. We can discuss that before I kick it over to you. This is an article from Kotaku.com. There's a few other sites. I will put it in the show notes so that people can get to it at bit.ly/ATGN 488. Is that what this one is? Yeah, 488. So EA was looking to sell or merge, according to this. The article says the video game market is consolidating like never before, and Electronic Arts is scrambling like everyone else. The Battlefield and FIFA maker recently pursued a merger with NBC Universal. They also held potential acquisition talks with Disney, Apple, and other companies, according to an article by Puck.
Who would want to buy them since their NFL license deal is running out in
Right.
2 years or something?
Something like that. They said while a deal currently is not in the works, it doesn't sound like EA plans to give up anytime soon. They do mention EA is primarily interested in a merger arrangement that would allow the current CEO to remain as a CEO of the combined company.
Oh, for EA? You
Yes.
mean the company that was, voted
in the
the
world.
worst company how many times?
Yeah. And they are excuse me, I stuttered through that. The report here says a deal with NBC Universal is the one that got the furthest along. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts was looking to spin off the entertainment conglomerate into a separate entity with EA, with one version of the deal leaving the current CEO in charge of the mega business, but negotiations fell apart due to price, according to this story.
Once again, your biggest draw is your Madden. And your Madden is about to be non-exclusive.
And they've lost the exclusivity on the Star Wars deal also, which arguably could bring in some decent cash.
Good, because they didn't need it anyway.
Yeah, they say here the exclusivity deal for Disney with the Star Wars license will not be renewed when it expires in 2023. That's how we got the Quantic Dream and Ubisoft announcements coming up. So yeah.
Wait, what about the Lego one? That's not EA, is it?
No, I think that's a deal with Lego, not with Disney. That was in existence before the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. That deal's been in place forever.
Warner Brothers put out the Lego games?
I
remember that correctly?
I don't remember who owns Traveler's Tales.
Okay.
Oh,
that's right. They just make a lot of Warner Brothers movie Lego games, don't they?
That is correct. Also, we should mention they're losing the Madden deal. EA also revealed that it's ending its similar 10-year exclusivity deal with FIFA, and beginning in 2023 will rebrand its blockbuster soccer franchise to no longer have the FIFA name. Now, that's not as important to us here in the United States, but if you look outside of North America, the FIFA game is arguably their best-selling game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I've heard bad stuff about the last FIFA game that came out.
It's the same as Madden. They treat it the exact same way.
Well, they had countries missing that have world championship teams, from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
And they just said, "Yeah, we don't care. We're not having them in the game. They're not in here. You don't care."
The one that didn't make sense the most to me there was Apple, though. But, I mean, if Apple looks at it as their way to establish a foothold in the video game industry, maybe? I don't know. They have their own arcade and stuff that works on iOS devices, both the Apple TV and iPads, iPhones. So they have sort of console-like games that are on there. You can play the old KOTOR games and stuff on your Apple TV. I don't know.
You know what? Go for it, Apple. Go for it. It's all yours. You can have it. Go ahead and spend your money and buy it. Just no one's going to care about you. Still.
The Disney thought was interesting, but it seems, I don't know. I don't know how much I believe this is actually going to happen. It feels to me like they've seen everyone else get gobbled up, and it's we could make a crap load of money if we also get gobbled up by someone else. At this point, I don't think Microsoft's opening the checkbook for much else, based off of how much they've spent for Blizzard and Bethesda and all of these other studios. There's got to be a point where I don't care how much money you make off of cloud services that Satya Nadella is like, nope, no more studios, Phil. You can't buy any more. But what do I know?
No, I'm waiting for you to answer that. What do you know?
Very little.
That was a segue.
And I also don't know much about Sony's most recent State of Play event that they did, other than that fanboys were mad because Phil Spencer complimented it.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because I do have some information about that.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
In fact, it's my news of the week. Roll that thing again. I'm just kidding. But I'm just gonna
Live from the AT.
You mean that thing?
Yes, ticker be gone. But yes, I'm just gonna run through highlights that interested me, not so much all of it because some of it I just don't care about. A lot of it I just didn't care about. Not gonna lie. It was like, okay,
So
that's an announcement, sure.
I will be honest, I paid very little attention to it because I figured you would talk about it, and the only thing I've seen was that Spider-Man's coming to PC.
Oh, since you want to run the news, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say that's the only thing I knew.
But that is one of them. Spider-Man remastered version that has come out for the PS5 is coming to the PC, and oh my God, I am not ready for all the modders who are going to make Rule 34 suits for Spider-Man. I'm not ready for it, but it's going to be a thing.
Everything's a thing, man.
Yeah, now we're gonna have Spooderman who's spootering around with his dick, probably.
He described me talking about how it's Morbin time.
Oh God, that is gonna be one, isn't it? And someone's gonna be like, "See, people still care about Morbius.
People still care. Green light Morbius 5.
Jesus." But the first thing they showed, which, I mean, I should have expected it, but kind of forgot about it. I still want to play the previous two ones they remade. But they had a trailer for the remake of Resident Evil 4. Should have thought it was going to be a thing since Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, which, to be fair, I do want to play. Just haven't had a chance. And it's not been on a good enough sale. So maybe when that happens, I'll finally get to try it. Because I never played 2 or 3. Because you know what I hated the most? Tank controls. So back on the PS1, I did not play any of the Resident Evils because fuck tank controls. I hate them so much. But Resident Evil 4 did away with that. The first one to do away with that in the Resident Evil series. Because Code Veronica was still the static camera, right, with tank controls. I believe so.
I don't know. I don't play the Resident Evil games really. I've dabbled a couple times, but they're not really my jam.
Yeah, originally came out on the Dreamcast. I believe it was still static camera with tank controls, but yeah, Resident Evil 4, the behind the shoulder camera. And when they remade 2 and 3, that's what they went with, so I'm actually curious about it. Yeah, so Resident Evil 4. I started playing that probably 3 times in my life and never finished it. I started on the GameCube, where it was exclusive to the GameCube. The PS2 and the PS3. That's the 3 times I've tried it. Because it's been released on all those consoles, plus many more. It has not quite got up to the level of Skyrim, though. Or maybe it has. I don't know. Skyrim on more things or Resident Evil 4?
Probably Skyrim at this point in time, considering you can technically play it on your refrigerator if you have the right kind of fridge.
Yeah. But there was another trailer for a game called Stray, which looks interesting. I have no idea what the gameplay is. It looks like you're a stray cat in this technologically future, cyberpunky kind of vibing world. And yeah, you got people with TV heads and shit like that.
Interesting.
And so I don't know what the gameplay is, but it does look interesting. Looks like the world's interesting, so maybe it's just walking around learning about that world, which might not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But the news about that is it is going to actually also be part of the, I believe it's going to be part of the PlayStation Plus tier thing, the middle tier
Whatever
and above.
They call it now.
Their names, I forget it. I forget all of them except for PS Plus Essential. Is it just PS Essential? I think it's Plus Essential, which is the bottom tier, which is just what PS Plus is now. I can't remember the names for the rest of them. PS Plus Premium? I can't remember. But I think it's going to be part of the middle tier and up. on release day. So that's good news.
Real quick, what I thought was interesting, because I just pulled up an article to go
You're
along
good?
with this. Stray is on PS4 and 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I should have probably mentioned that. And I think Resident Evil 4 is
PS5
coming to
only.
PS5 only. Next year, March 24, 2023, unless there's delays or whatnot, which they
It's
seem
possible.
pretty on top of it. And they also showed off a trailer for the next Street Fighter 6,
Yeah.
which I mean, the only thing that really interested me in here, because I mean, only because I'm not really that much of a fighting game fan. That's the only reason. Not that I don't care about Street Fighter, it's just I'm not much of a fighting game fan. That's all. But there's something weird with this one in the trailer. They only showed a little bit of it, and I don't know much more about it other than the trailer. They show a little bit of open world, moving around your character around the city. I'm guessing it's Metro City.
Interesting.
You know what Metro City's from?
No.
They had the best mayor ever, Mayor Hager. Metro City from Final Fight.
Okay.
You remember Final Fight at all?
Vaguely.
You remember Hager?
No.
He's a big, giant, muscular guy with the
As in
Tom
Hager the
Selleck
Horrible?
mustache. No, he has a Tom Selleck mustache. He has like a green one-armed, like a one-shoulder strap. What's the thing? Bib? Overall. Yeah, overall. It's like a dark forest green. Man, I'm really trying to help you here, and you're just failing this. Anyway, Resident Evil 6, and I hear that the full roster got leaked, I think.
Interesting.
Once again, I'm not much of a fighting game fan, so I didn't look into that. But apparently, the roster has been leaked. And also, Resident Evil Village, with Dommy Mommy Big Lady de Mascara. I think I'm saying that right.
I thought it was
You know who I'm talking
Damascus
about.
or something like that.
Yeah, something I can never remember. I never played the game. I just
Me
remember
neither.
the memes and all of it. But that's also getting a VR port for PS5 for PlayStation VR 2,
Interesting.
which I'm not sure if that's the name they're going with or is that just a working title.
I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, I get it if it's PlayStation VR 2. That would make sense because it keeps in line with PlayStation 1, 2, 3. It keeps in line with, so that's whatever. So that's some news. Like the other Resident Evil, what was it? What was the other one? Not before Village. Resident Evil 7. That was just Resident Evil 7. What didn't have another title to it?
Resident Evil games, I pay literally no attention to, so
Anyway,
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Fair enough. That game was fully playable in PlayStation VR from release day. So that was always a nice thing. They also showed some gameplay and some cinematics from Final Fantasy 16, which is coming out next year.
PS5 only, I assume.
Is it just PS5 or is it also going to be on Xbox?
Ooh.
Or you mean next gen? I'm
Next
sure you
gen.
just
Sorry,
mean
I
next
was more
gen.
meaning next gen only, but I'm not sure if it's console specific.
I know it's on PS5. I don't know if it's on PS4. Don't know if it's on Xbox. Probably. Well, the Xbox one.
Or it'll be like
'Cause,
a
I mean,
time delay or some nonsense like
yeah.
that.
A cool looking game that's like a skate based shooter game. It's called Roller Dome. The trailer you showed a character rollerblading in like a Tony Hawk's type of level. I'm talking about Tony Hawk 1 like level, and you're doing flips while shooting people in midair.
Interesting.
The style they went with is like cell shaded,
So it's like Jet Set Radio, sort of.
kind of, but more pencil line drawn
Okay.
look to it than just like thick ink lines.
That's
I
still
would
intriguing.
say. So yeah, that does look interesting. And there's something called the Callisto Protocol, which looks like a Dead Space looking type game. That's all I really got from that. There's some weird, demonic, twisted human creature like humanoids. Yeah, that's the better word, humanoids, coming after you and you shoot them. And yeah, that's pretty much all that. Oh wait, yes, Eternal Knights is a mixing of like a fighting game with a dating simulator.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I'm glad they're going with something unique. I don't know if I play it because it looks a little. I'm sorry. I am so sorry for if I'm offending anyone with this, but it looks a little too anime-ish to me.
No, I get what you're saying.
A little too more hand on the hip saying, I hope we do this thing today.
No, I mean,
I'm
I haven't
sorry.
looked at the trailer, but I can see just on the article on Kotaku, just the preview image in YouTube, and it's very anime art style influence. So if that's not your jam, I can see where it wouldn't really work out for you.
Yeah, dating sims are kind of to me because it's a lot. You might as well just be reading a book at that point because the images you're looking at, the characters don't really move a lot or have a lot of animation. It's just like a static picture. And sometimes they go, hee, hee, oh, oh. Some stuff like that. That's about it. So it's like, sure, I get why people like it. It's just not my thing. Not at all. I mean, I doubt I'll even play the Dead by Daylight one, to be honest with you.
That's fair. Yeah, looking at this, the interesting thing though is Eternal Knights is both PS4 and 5. So
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I am looking forward to also upgrading my PlayStation subscription. I'm not going to lie. Stray is going to be, it looks like it's going to be interesting. I'll definitely try that out. But if anyone is going to get it, I would highly recommend you download and try to play the game Wreckfest. It is so much fun. I don't know if it's available on Xbox, the Gold Pass, whatever it's called. I can't remember. What's it called, Chris?
Game Pass? Is that
Game
what you're
Pass,
talking about?
yes. I don't know if it's on there. If it is, definitely try it there too. Try it anyway. Wreckfest is a fun. It's somewhere in the middle between Sim Racer and Arcade Racer. It's right there in the middle, right at that sweet spot, right where I like it. So definitely try that. I've been having it since release on the PS4. I had to wait 2 years because it was on like Steam Greenlight for
Oh
2 years.
yeah, it was.
Oh, and I wanted to play it for so long.
Yeah, your laptop wouldn't have run it.
Way just to mock me.
No, I
Thank
wasn't
you.
mocking you. It's just
You mocked me. All right, we know it. We heard it. We
my
all see
computer
it.
wouldn't have run it either. I'm not mocking you.
I don't mock yourself either. Just that's the state of play.
I'm not a PC gamer anymore. Is more what I was meaning, and we know Willie's not a PC gamer.
Is it PC? Is it PC to say PC Master Race? I didn't even think of that.
It probably
Whoa.
isn't.
I didn't think there was the same initials, so I started saying it. Jesus Christ.
It probably isn't, but we'll just
You
let
get
that
what
one
they
go.
mean.
Right.
The joke is they're snobbish.
Yes.
Not so much they think they're better. They know they're better.
I'm better. No, I'm not.
At what?
Everything.
Then play me in Wreckfest.
No.
Then I'm better.
Oh, that's cool. The official Twitter account of the boys just liked one of my tweets I saw. Go me.
Oh yeah, I just watched there's only the first 3 episodes, right?
It is only the first 3 episodes. Which,
Yeah, I watched all of it last night.
yeah,
Then
we can touch on that when we get to what I'm into, because I actually have a fairly lengthy list of stuff I've been watching. Not The Fifth Element, because
yeah, I noticed.
there's a lot of stuff that's out. So, Willie, from State of Play, though, as we wrap things up, would you say it was a good show in your mind? Would you say it was just average? It showed you a few games you're interested in, but there was a bunch of stuff you didn't care about. How do you feel about State of Play as it's wrapped up?
There was not one thing that was really made me go like, ooh. It was just like, oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Pretty much stuff like
fair.
that. This State of Play it's alright. But it's not really their fault. I mean, I'm still waiting on some of their studios, seeing what they're working on. They're like their first party studios. I want to see what they're working on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. I don't know that there were some people that was hoping this would be equivalent to replacing anything they would show off in or around E3. It wasn't. There's no E3 this year, so we get what we get from all the companies that are doing their own events.
I mean, who cares about E3 anymore? Just show shit when you can. Just do that.
We've seen what Nintendo does, which is they'll randomly say, hey, we're having a Nintendo Direct in 2 days. And sometimes it's cool stuff, and sometimes you're like, what the shit is this? Because Nintendo does Nintendo things.
Yeah, we know, like, terrible internet.
There's that to be said, too.
Oh, sorry, terrible online play, I should say.
I knew what you meant. Yeah, so there was some interesting stuff coming out of it. I think it's smart as Sony has pivoted into doing more and more PC game support to take one of their biggest sellers and their most popular things in Spider-Man and put it on PC. And with some powerful PCs out there, you're going to see some really pretty graphics for the Spider-Man game, and it's going to be really awesome.
And mods.
You're just looking forward to it's Morbin time version where he plays Dr. Michael Morbius.
Now, in Spider-Man, I don't know if you unlocked this skin, but there's a skin to unlock where it's just Peter Parker, and I think in a Spider-Man mask and tidy whities.
I thought it was a little like tight boxer briefs that had hearts.
It might have been that. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure that's going to be modded.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, they're going to get the floppy texture to it, too.
No, it's going to be modded so that the web shooters don't come from the hands. Let's put it that way.
The butt?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
That'd probably be better. All you have to do is make sure he's upside down, just going bloop. Jesus Christ. I cannot wait to see some of this stuff, actually.
Right?
Just to say, so that is a thing. Well, what's new in my life?
Yeah. Didn't know that was a thing. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
Oh, jeez, Willie.
I heard that a time or two.
Anyway, we're going to start wrapping things up, though, on the show. We just finished up the news of the week. So how we shut things down is we do a little segment called What I'm Into. It's where Willie and I are going to share with you guys watching live or listening at a later date the geeky and nerdy things we be getting into, because you may want to go check them out yourselves. And I'll kick things off because I've been watching a crap load of TV. The Boys. That dropped this week, the first 3 episodes. It's awesome. It's really good. I've really enjoyed it. Anthony Starr going and becoming gradually more unhinged as Homelander and realizing the kind of shit he can do on there. It's captivating television, and I'm really enjoying watching that character just go slowly even more insane.
So, I've said in the past, if I woke up tomorrow with Superman powers, what I would do. He's starting to realize, I have Superman powers. I can do this. Just go do it.
Right?
You are God amongst ants. Who cares?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Some stuff I did find is they've been doing some really cool marketing. And if you go look at my Twitter timeline, there's something I tweeted about 2 hours ago as we record this, which was they did an advertisement for the Vought Adventure Park with the female and Frenchie. And like it's done in the style of advertising you'd see for like Disney or Six Flags and stuff like that. And it's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely. And if you didn't realize, they also have a Vought International YouTube channel, which is where they actually air commercials, not for the boys, but for all of these Vought products and stuff like that. And it is also hilarious. Sometimes you get news telecasts. Sometimes you get a commercial for America's Next Top Superhero, whatever the program was. Their YouTube channel does a really cool job of doing in-universe marketing for the stuff that's going on in the boys.
You know what that sounds like?
What's that?
It sounds like Starship Troopers.
Very similar.
It sounds like, what's his name? Who's the director? I know it off the top of my head. It's just not coming to me. I know it.
As soon as you say it,
it's like 3 names, isn't it? Like Vaughn something is like in the middle. Oh, God, what is it? I know it. He did RoboCop as well.
Paul
Verhoeven, not Von Ver. Yeah. That's what it was. It was something like that.
So, The Boys, it's insane. Like, in the first 15 minutes, you look at this like, oh, yeah, they just topped a bunch of the stuff they've done before. Like, you thought it was bad when they drove a boat through a whale? Watch the first 15 minutes of episode 1 of The Boys, and you're like, huh, they did something gorier and grosser than I didn't expect.
I couldn't look at that.
Yeah.
Can I just say the word?
Well, let's put it this way, without getting into spoilers. You know how there was the gag about how Ant-Man could beat Thanos? The Boys did their take on how Ant-Man would beat Thanos. Am I wrong?
I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So yeah, The Boys, it's fantastic. If you've enjoyed the first 2 seasons, I think season 3 is well on its way.
Wait, Chris, I got it. I couldn't quite hear it, so I had to turn up the sound. Is that vague enough for you, Chris?
Yes. If you get a chance, go and watch The Boys. At least in the United States, it's on Prime Video, and I imagine in other countries where Prime Video is available, it's available there. I'm not sure if you don't have Prime Video in your country where you would go to consume the show.
And that's where we come to our sponsor, NordVPN.
Right? NordVPN, please pay us.
Or don't, because I don't know. I've always heard bad things about VPN.
I don't use NordVPN. I have a different client that I use for my VPN purposes. But the Boys Twitter account has been retweeting a bunch of stuff that's been hilarious.
What are you looking at?
And one of the things I saw was they had found a review someone had put on Prime Video about The Boys. They quoted it and said, "Enjoy," with 3 exclamation points. And the review from AJ was, "With each season it gets worse. Very political and very anti-male. Plenty of male butts and wieners, though. Enjoy."
It's been getting anti-male?
I didn't think so, but...
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't either. And there is actually, in the very first episode, within the first 5 minutes of the episode, there's a really funny cameo from someone I didn't expect to see on The Boys.
Can you tell me who the actor is?
Charlize Theron. They already put okay, so this isn't really a spoiler, but they talk about, because they already put it up on YouTube before the show came out. They talked about last season how they were doing that 7 movie, and the beginning of it opens with the movie for the 7, where we find out that Stormwatch in the real world, we found out
you're talking about the blonde, right?
Yeah. And
okay, I got it.
The person who portrays Stormwatch in the movie in universe is Charlize Theron.
Oh, so that's actually Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Playing the role in the movie there.
She's the woman playing the other woman.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick before moving off The Boys, there was a tweet that I saw that I really enjoyed that I wanted to share that was, "Hey, since The Boys has What If Superman Were Evil covered, can WB focus on What If Superman Were Humble, Inspiring, Morally Good because it's the right thing to do version?" You know, not a Zack Snyder version of Superman.
Man of Steel was a good movie. You can fuck right off.
Man of Steel was not a Superman movie, though.
It was a Superman movie. Deal with it, you nerd. The one dumb part I will say about that is fucking Kevin Costner's stupid death.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was the stupidest thing I ever saw. He could have just been in and out. Who would have noticed him in a fucking tornado? Like, just go save your dad and the dog and be done with it. Hear the yelling after the fact. But whatever.
You're not wrong. So moving on.
That I would tell.
Moving on to the next thing I've been watching. Willie doesn't care about this one, but Star Trek Strange New Worlds continues to be fantastic. This week they did a body swap episode, and it was actually really fun. This was more of a lighthearted, fun episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds after the week before. Who
swapped bodies?
Spock and T'Pring, his fiance.
Who plays Spock?
I can't remember the guy's name. Ethan Peck, I think, something like that is the actor's name.
Like an Ethan Peckerhead.
Anson Mount continues to be delightful as Captain Christopher Pike.
Yes. Oh, that's the guy who played Black Bolt, right?
Black Bolt.
Yeah, from the show and the movie.
Yes, but he is absolutely delightful as Captain Christopher Pike, and I really, really enjoy Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It feels kind of like a successor to Next Gen in regards to the kind of things it does, but at the same time has serialized elements to it. So it's not just always a new freak of the week kind of thing like we had in the X-Files and stuff like that. Delightful show, and the special effects budget for that is through the roof. Like, everything looks gorgeous that they depict on screen, the starships and things like that. And why I bring that up is because it leads me to my next show, which is we had the season 3 premiere after a 2 or 3 year hiatus for The Orville, which became a Hulu exclusive show. One of the things they got to do was increase the special effects budget and things like that. I really enjoyed The Orville season 1 and 2. I think season 3 kind of started with the wrong episode to re-kick things off. I don't think it was bad, but it relies on you remembering stuff that happened 3 years ago. So it's a tougher get when it's been a while since the show came out. and this is not me dogging on them, it's more of a comparison, is like they've upped their special effects budget and it looks really good. But if you watch the Orville either right before or right after Star Trek Strange New Worlds, you go, oh man, how much are they paying for the special effects for Strange New Worlds? Because it blows the Orvilles out of the water.
So, question.
Yes.
Is the Orville more of a comedy or more serious? Or a mixture?
Okay, so season 1 leaned a little harder in comedy. Season 2 leaned a little harder on seriousness. But it's kind of like a 60-40 split each season between them. So it's got elements of both.
So it's not a Star Trek Family Guy thing.
It is not Star Trek Family Guy like people wanted to say that it was. And there is a lot of nuance to things they do in there. There was an episode of The Orville, either in season 1 or 2, where they started addressing trans rights and things like that. Not necessarily through the lens of humans, but through an alien culture. And it was well done. There was nuance to it. It wasn't, we take one side and this is the right side. And they've done a very good job with that show of kind of tying back into some of the stuff you got in earlier Star Trek, which is there's morality here and you're not necessarily sure who's right or wrong because you can see both people's viewpoints. You would not have expected a nuanced take on trans rights from Seth MacFarlane, a lot of people would have thought. But it was really well done. Really well done.
I assume it takes place in the future.
24th century or 25th century, I think.
I would have figured we would have had a handle on that shit by then.
So the crux of the episode is it wasn't humanity that was having that issue. It was another race where, as far as they know, I think it was the Mocklins were the race. They are a monogendered race. And we find out that no, there's a male race, which is the predominant one, but sometimes there are female Mocklins that are born. And it is a cultural shame to the people of the Mocklins. And they hide the fact and regularly give them corrective surgery when they're young children. And it got to a point where one of the fathers of this newborn baby was like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do for my child. And you found out more about the female Mocklins that live hidden amongst the Mocklin society and stuff like that. And it was really well done. And it was all about sex change rights and things like that. And
well, to be fair, in that context, with a monogender race of species, what would be the point? What would be the point of saying this is the male of the race or this is the female of the race?
Because that's how humans look at things. I don't know that they necessarily. I don't know. They made a point.
I'm assuming they reproduce asexually, is what I'm assuming.
They hatch eggs.
Test tubes.
They hatch eggs.
Well, to lay an egg, isn't that technically a female?
In what we know, yes, but this is how their race works. Is that either of the partners can lay the egg, is my understanding.
Yeah, but we're using the words male and female.
But they also use the words male and female, and the females in this show present as humanoid-ish females with softer features and traits that we expect of humanoid females. So I don't know. It's a really good episode, and it is a nuanced take on things. And they go out of their way to saying, and Seth MacFarlane's character goes out of his way to say, we can't put our own morals on top of how this culture reacts. Like, it doesn't make sense to our sensibilities, but this is their culture. This is how they do things. And it's not on us to come in there and be like, no, you can't do this anymore. It's very well done, and it's kind of bittersweet at the end. But they do a very good job with this show of sometimes you have something that's really funny and hilarious, and other times they'll touch on a topic and you're like, oh, this is very much like they used to do in Star Trek, where they could touch on a topic and people are like, well, it's in the future. We can touch on it in different ways. And I really enjoyed the show. I'm curious to see where they go with season 3, which is probably the final season, it sounds like, although no one's confirmed that.
The whole male, female, it just reminds me, like, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
Right.
I don't know, and I don't think I should care. It's just something I eat.
Right. Other things I've been watching, Obi-Wan episode 3 came out this week. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the lightsaber combat and the fact that Vader basically played with his food in this episode. All he did was toy with Obi-Wan. And I will say, and I did say this on Twitter, this episode, combine that with Rogue One, and you see why Darth Vader was fucking terrifying to the rest of the galaxy.
Or just play the, what was that, Jedi
Fallen Order?
Yeah, that's it.
Or the one before that was Starkiller, which I'm
No. You had it right. The redheaded dude.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's actually one of the things I'm also into. Is I resume my playthrough of Jedi Fallen Order because man, I need to play more of this.
I thought you finished it.
I did not finish it.
You slack-jawed Star
But
Wars
I am glad I
fan.
waited, because I went to fire it up and it went, hey, you have a next-gen upgrade. Would you like to upgrade? I went, sure. And it gave me a 50 gig update, which was the next-gen update for the Xbox Series X. So I really enjoyed it. It's really nice. It's really pretty. I like the gameplay. Everything's really fluid. And I'm really glad that I decided to delve back into that, because elements of Fallen Order come into play with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
In
So
the
I'm
first
intrigued
two
by it.
episodes, or just the third? Because I haven't seen the third yet.
It's more about the world that exists after the fall of the Order, so you could argue all three. And I won't say anything more
The
about
world or the universe?
I'm sorry?
Do you mean the world or the universe?
Yes.
Which world?
Like the world of Star Wars is what I meant, which is
Oh,
equivalent.
I thought you meant one.
I wasn't talking
world.
about a specific planet, no. And
I world.
I will not say anything more about episode 3 of Obi-Wan then, because I hadn't realized that you hadn't watched it yet. But it is really good. And like I said on Twitter, it goes to explain why Darth Vader is terrifying to normal people in the universe. And in fact, it also helped explain an interview I'd seen with Ewan McGregor, which, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, which was he'd done a bunch of practice with Hayden Christensen on set for their first lightsaber duel. But in all of that practice, Christensen was wearing pretty much just like the armor from the neck down. He didn't have the mask on and stuff like that. And they'd asked him something to the effect of, so how did it feel when you confronted him as Darth Vader the first time? And he said something to the effect of, I almost shit my pants in fear. And you sort of get it when you see how Vader interacts with him in this episode and how terrifying Darth Vader is. And I really liked it. I also really liked the fact that James Earl Jones' voice is back for Vader, but I found it very interesting that it's not James Earl Jones in a recording booth is how they did it. It's James Earl Jones. They took all of his old footage, similar to what they did with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, and basically created an AI voice. And then credited him for that.
So there's one part of the Star Wars story that they just kind of glanced over, and it's kind of doesn't matter anymore.
What's that?
That Vader or Anakin Skywalker is Space Jesus. He was immaculately conceived, wasn't he?
That is correct. They touch on it in the comics, but that's no longer canon. Where they touch on it in the comics.
And then his children, they're dead. And then one of their children's children, they're dead. The whole line's dead. So what was the point? What was the point of being immaculately conceived?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, it was just no reason for it.
Because that's what the chosen one.
Wait. The Greeks got it right. Zeus came in there and was just having sex with everybody in the universe. You know Zeus did that in all the stories.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, so my headcanon, Zeus is Anakin's father. It makes sense. Better midichlorians. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No. But that's all I had for what I've been getting into. Mr. Willie D. Nelson, what you been getting into, sir?
Remember that foreshadowing I mentioned earlier?
I vaguely remember some foreshadowing you mentioned earlier.
So there's a game I can't wait to play. Comes out in 5 days. June 10th, please. I hope that's the release date, and I'm just not messing that up. A game called The Quarry. Do you remember my Game of the Year 2015?
I feel like I should, but I don't.
Chris. It's Until Dawn.
Okay. Now I remember now that you mentioned it.
I think it's a PS4 exclusive game.
Yeah.
But
no, they put it out on PC, didn't they?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. I hope so, so more people can enjoy it. But I mean, the same company put out other games that are like it. You know, the Dark Pictures anthology games that they've been coming out with 3 years in a row, and this will be the 4th year. Hopefully around October, their next game. I can't remember the title off the top of my head. The first 3 in the series are Man of Medan, Little Hope, and House of Ashes. And the 4th one, I can't remember the title of it, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, the same company. Those are on all systems, I believe, and I think PC. But I do know they're on Xbox as well. But yeah, they're also coming out with the Quarry, which, although I'm not sure if that's coming out on Xbox, it's the Dark Picture Anthology games seem like a little bit like budget games, like they're not full AAA in that aspect. But the Quarry is, and it's also made by Supermassive, and it looks like it's just redoing what Until Dawn was and what Dark Pictures Anthology kind of was, but where they have actors come in to be the roles and they take the likenesses, because in the trailer you see first thing off the bat David Arquette, you know WCW heavyweight one-time champion David Arquette. You can never take that away from him. Thank you, Eric Bischoff.
You're right. You cannot take that from him.
And I guess, and in my own headcanon for the movie Ready to Rumble, he was also tag team champion too. But although that's not David Arquette, I forget his character's name in that fucking movie. That's a great movie though, highly recommended. Which is what brought him the WCW championship. So dumb and stupid, and I love it. But yeah, the Quarry. It also is going to have Ethan Suplee,
I think it is.
Yeah, Suplee, and Sam Raimi's brother Ted Raimi. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's also in it, and I can't remember anyone else off the top of my head who the actors are in it. But it looks like it's going to be the same type of feel of Until Dawn, where it's like a horror movie where you pretty much plays like a Telltale game, where you make choices and stuff, and your choices decide who lives and dies. Like, you can have everyone live, I'm assuming, or you can have everyone die, and anywhere in between. And it just looks... I can't wait. Just give me more games like that. I love that. Let me be my own writer and director of a horror movie. I love it. And whatever the next game in the Dark Picture Anthology coming out this fall, I'm hoping it's coming out this fall. It should. They've been doing it yearly, so just because they took on this other project doesn't give you right to slack off with Dark Picture Anthology. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Last night, watched The Boys, episodes 1 through 3. Did watch Obi-Wan episode 1 and 2 sometime last week. And last Saturday, I was like, you know what? I'm doing nothing. Let me start Stranger Things. And I pretty much finished everything they made or they released of that so far. I think it's just the last 2 episodes that they haven't released. That doesn't come out till July 1st. I thought it was June 1st. My mistake.
Oops.
I'm dumb. I thought I was like, yeah, I'll just watch them all now. And that way the next one won't be till Monday. I don't have that long of a wait. Nope, wait a month. God damn.
That would be annoying.
Yeah, Netflix. Why are you fucking with your system? Don't fuck with your system.
Beats me, man.
I mean, I don't like it when the boys do it, the fucking episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then, you gotta wait each week for the rest of them. Or Disney Plus, no, you just gotta wait each week. Why? Are you still touching it up? You fucking finished filming last year. What are you still touching up for? It should be done.
I mean, we've seen the fact some of these shows, they keep updating special effects up until they drop, and sometimes for weeks after they drop, they update things.
Or like Morbius, you just film a lot of extra shit that you can just put in the trailer that isn't even the goddamn movie.
Willie, it's Morbin time, okay?
No, it was never Morbin time, because guess what? I've never seen Morbius.
You're gonna see it now.
No, I might at some point in time, I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
Just like, I do want to see Venom 2 just because of Woody Harrelson. That's it.
That's fair.
I hated Venom 1. Hated the writing. The dialogue writing. I hated it. And that's why I think I would hate Morbius, because it seems like it's the same dialogue writing. Even though none of the scenes from the trailer are in said movie, it has to have the same feel of the dialogue, right?
Probably. I don't know. I would assume.
Where he's talking to one guy, we are Venom. It's like, no, just Morbius at your service. Shut the fuck up. The joke's never funny. Never good. Just stop it. I've been playing a lot of Wreckfest. I've been continuing to play Yakuza Zero, and it is amazing. Can't wait to start Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is a remake of the second game. And then after that, I might just skip all the way ahead to Yakuza 7.
Damn, hell of a jump.
Because I've been wanting just to play Yakuza 7. It looks so much fun, and I want to play it. And all the Yakuza games until Yakuza 7 are pretty much like beat-em-up games. Small open world beat-em-ups. Like that's what they are. Yakuza 7 is a turn-based RPG. So I really want to play that. Although I do hear the grinding gets a little much. I hope that's untrue.
If it's the one that just came out, there's super grindy elements in it.
Well, came out last year.
Yeah. So I actually stopped
ago?
playing it because at one point in time, you literally get an objective is you need to make this much money to move on. And I was like, the fuck am I supposed to do that? And it's to encourage you to play the side game where you own a bakery and sell a bunch of stuff.
That sounds awesome.
Well, you might enjoy it. It frustrated me, so I did not play it. I stopped at that point.
So there's 2 mini games in this one. One of them is, mini game is harsh for one of them, where you own like a real estate thing. You just go around buying properties, and these guys that own the area, you have to get up enough to challenge them to get more of the proper percentage of the property, get more profit. And that one's, it's all right. I'm going through that right now, the very last bit of it right now. My game's actually paused currently.
Nice.
And the other one where you get to play as Majima-san is where you get to run a cabaret club.
Interesting.
And that plays more like, you remember that game Diner Dash?
Yes.
It plays like that.
Okay.
Where you have a list of girls, and you have the guys come in, and you match the girls with what the guys are wanting, and you get more money if they like it more. And it's just like Diner Dash. It's all time based and stuff like that. It's very time based and it's super fun. That's why I've been really enjoying. I ran through that. I was like, that's all I want to do is do the cabaret mini game, just because it was like just that mini management thing. Like that, you go there, you need help over there. Let me go do that right quick. Yeah, it's just time management, and you gotta do it quickly. The one little mini game I did not like for this game is the telephone club, where you go to this place, because Yakuza Zero takes place in 1988. Okay. 1988 Tokyo. It's a fictional area in Tokyo where all the Yakuza games take place. But because Tokyo is fucking gigantic. If you've never seen Tokyo in relation to like other place, like the size of it, it's fucking massive. Like gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Like try and look up a picture of it, just like the outline of the city into whatever. It's fucking like I was mind boggled. Like it would take all day to get from one side of the city to the other side. It seems, especially if you're driving. Oh, I wouldn't even want to drive in Tokyo. Fuck that. Take the train.
No, take the train. Exactly.
Jesus. Like I would never want to just the size of that place. But yeah, it's all a fictional place. And in 1988 in Japan, it was going through an economic boom. So that's the whole point of why money's being flying out everywhere in that game. It's just super fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I like them. I think they're fun games too.
And what else I do? Did I see anything else? Oh! I did watch the spin-off, Shorzy, from Letterkenny. I watched all of it. Although I think Hulu kind of fucked with me. Because when I clicked on the page for Shorzy, I said, yeah, watch this. And I thought my assumption that it would just start me on episode 1 of season 1. Because there's only one season out, 6 episodes. It's just 6 episodes. Real quick. I think they're only 30 minutes long, too. So it really goes by like that. It started me on episode 6.
That's strange.
And I didn't know it till at the end. I was like, so I'm a little confused by this. Where are they going from here? And I was like, restart episode 1? I'm like, what?
Huh?
Okay. So I rewatched it all over again. Or so I started from 1, got all the way down to 6, and rewatched 6 again so it made sense. Or more sense. I was getting what it was getting at. I thought it was just like, Like there was just stuff that they would tell you later or something. But no, it was just started me on episode 6. Hulu,
That's
fuck
weird.
right off with that bullshit. But you know what? I think that's. I'm just gonna call it there. That's everything I've been getting into.
Hey, we've been getting into a lot of stuff though. Yeah, but like Willie said, that's what we've been getting into. Bachman, like we mentioned, is not here this week nor next week because he is doing training for his new work position. So we'll figure out what the schedule is once he gets a permanent schedule for work. We're not sure if that will adjust the recording time schedule for this program or not. If it does, we'll let you fine folks know. That being said, a friendly
Let me know.
We'll let you know, of course, too.
I hope so.
That being said, friendly reminder to everyone, we do stream this show live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over at www.geeks.live and www.nerds.live. If you have any feedback for us, you just want to come participate in the show, drop on by on a Sunday, come be part of our chat room. We do enjoy interacting with you fine folks. Before we shut this thing down, Willie, do you have any final thoughts for the people?
Yeah, I got some feedback instantly for you. I don't think you have to say 10 a.m. Central because all you have to say is 9 a.m. Eastern, and then people will just figure it the fuck out from there. They're smart, right?
9 a.m. Eastern is not when we start.
I'm at 11 a.m. Eastern. But I don't think you have to say. I don't think the point is you don't have to say the Central Time Zone. People can figure it out.
It's muscle memory though, because I did it for so long. Because the first time I didn't, Naki gave me a hard time, mostly in jest. That then I did it because Naki was in Central Time. So it's muscle memory from hundreds of episodes. I will endeavor to stop making that statement though. If it'll
I don't
make you
think
happy.
your brain is a muscle, is it?
Well, it's terminology. It is not a muscle, no. But
I'm a master of semantics. All right.
You're a master debater as well, Willie.
I mean, you're not wrong. Taking away the joke of being masturbatory.
I
but
wasn't
just debating. Yes,
I wasn't
like
going to
debating.
make that joke. I just like the term master debater, to be honest.
I'm a contrarian.
Well, ain't that the truth?
That's my new religion.
But on that note, we are getting out of here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week for more of our zany hijinks and shenanigans.
We don't see them.
We might. See you guys later. Bye. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.